The stars above Earth were peaceful, silent, and far away. No one on Earth knew that something was coming, something that would change everything forever. People were living their normal lives, working, walking, dreaming, while far above them, a decision had already been made. On a giant space station at the edge of the galaxy, the Galactic High Council had gathered. These were powerful alien leaders from different advanced civilizations. They had studied Earth for years. They watched humans fight wars, pollute their planet, create weapons, and even build AI that could destroy cities. They saw humans grow fast, learn fast, and adapt to any situation. And that scared them. A tall, silver-skinned alien stood in the center of the council chamber. His voice was cold and loud. The humans have become a threat. They are violent, clever, and unpredictable. We gave them warnings. They ignored us. They will not stop. We must act now. Other council members nodded. Some were quiet, but no one disagreed. One alien, smaller than the rest, looked worried. He whispered, "There is good in them too," but his voice was lost in the noise. The vote was taken. The result was clear. Earth would be exiled. It was not a normal punishment. They would not destroy Earth, but something worse. They would cut it off from the galaxy. Using ancient alien technology, they would push Earth into a dark, unknown part of space. Cold, empty, and far from any star. Earth would become a ghost planet, left to die slowly. The council called it clean exile. No war, no blood, just silence. Forever. Back on Earth, skies changed without warning. Strange lights appeared in the clouds. Earth's gravity shook for a second, and then settled. People looked up in confusion. Scientists checked their instruments. Panic spread quickly. News channels showed the sky turning deep red at night. Satellites stopped working. GPS failed. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Then the message came. A beam of light appeared in the sky, and a voice spoke in every language at once. Earth has been judged by the Galactic Council. Your violence, your greed, your actions are a danger to the galaxy. You are now exiled. This is final. Leaders tried to respond, but their signals never reached the stars. Rockets were launched, but they exploded before leaving orbit. The alien technology had already locked Earth in a strange energy field. No one could leave. No help could come. Earth was now alone. People panicked. Cities burned with fear, not fire. Some blamed governments. Others blamed God. Many simply sat in silence. The world was quiet, but not calm. Something deeper had changed. The feeling of being unwanted, rejected by the universe. In space, the Galactic Council watched Earth drift away, pulled by artificial gravity through a glowing portal. The exile process had begun. One by one, alien ships turned away. Their job was done. Earth was falling out of the known galaxy into a place where no maps existed. Stars faded around it. Light disappeared. Temperature dropped. Time felt slower. But Earth did not break. It floated, like a lonely boat in an endless dark ocean. Unknown to the Council, deep below Earth's surface, hidden bunkers began to wake. Old programs activated. Machines designed for the end of the world turned on. Not all humans had been blind. Some had known this day might come. Secret plans were already in motion. Satellites that the aliens didn't notice had recorded everything. Scientists, hackers, engineers, and ex-soldiers, people once called crazy, were ready. A message spread in the darknet. Project Phoenix is live. Far away, in the council chamber, the small alien who had spoken of Earth's goodness looked back at the fading blue planet on the screen. His heart was heavy. He whispered again, "We'll regret this." But no one listened. The others believed the story was over. They were wrong. Something had changed inside the humans. They were no longer just survivors. They were angry. They were focused. And in exile, without rules, without limits, Something new was being born. Not just hope, but purpose. Earth was not dead. It was waking up. And in the shadows of space, far from every known star, something else was watching Earth's fall. Not alien, not human, something old. And it smiled. The silence of deep space wrapped around Earth like a thick blanket. No sun, no stars, no signal. Just cold and dark. People were scared. The days felt longer, the nights endless. The world's clocks stopped matching the sky. There was no sunrise anymore, only dim light that came from nowhere. Plants began to die. Power grids failed slowly. Nations couldn't talk to each other. Planes stopped flying. Ships stopped moving. The world wasn't just lost, it was broken. But not everyone gave up. In the underground facility of Project Phoenix, hidden under old mountains in what used to be northern Russia, a group of survivors worked quietly. Scientists, ex-military, engineers, and a few smart teenagers who had hacked government systems in the past. They were all part of something bigger now. A man named Dr. Elias Vorn, a physicist once mocked for his alien war theories, now stood at the center of it all. He looked tired, but his eyes were sharp. "This isn't the end," he said, facing a group of 30. "It's a beginning. They pushed us away, but they didn't erase us. And we're going to fight back." Everyone knew they couldn't return to the galaxy by force. The alien tech was far more advanced. But Dr. Vorn had another plan. They had collected alien signals for years, studying their language, their machines, even fragments of crashed probes. Now those secrets were useful. They began building something new. Not a weapon, not a rocket. Something different. A way to understand space the aliens didn't want them to. A way to find the cracks between realities. Meanwhile, on the surface, people began to adapt. Without the internet or satellites, humans returned to radio. Small radio towers popped up across cities and towns. Messages were short but full of hope. "We are still here. Help your neighbor. There is a plan." People shared food. They lit fires at night for warmth and told stories to keep fear away. Strangely, crime dropped. Survival brought unity. Earth was in the dark, but the human spirit refused to die. At the same time, strange things began to happen. In several parts of the world, people saw flashes of light in the sky. Brief, fast, and silent. Some said they were dreams. Others believed it was alien spying. But in Project Phoenix, one of the engineers found something shocking. The flashes were not from alien ships. They came from inside Earth. Something old, buried deep in the crust, had awakened. They didn't know if it was natural or built by someone long ago, but it was powerful. Dr. Vorn's assistant, a young woman named Layla, discovered strange energy readings from Antarctica. The signals had patterns, like music or language. "It's not random," she said. "It's calling to something, or someone." Vorn looked at the data and froze. The signal was too perfect, too complex. "We're not alone out here," he whispered. "Something else is trapped with us, or waiting for us." In space, far beyond where the galaxy ended, the Alien Council's sensors picked up a weak signal. Earth was still active. That shouldn't be possible. One of the generals demanded they send a scout ship to make sure. "Just a scan," he said. "Make sure they're not adapting." A small stealth probe was launched toward Earth. It would arrive in 2 weeks. It was designed to stay invisible, just to watch. Back on Earth, Layla and her team made a breakthrough. Using the alien data and Earth's ancient energy, they built a device called a pulse mirror. It was a strange-looking machine, half alien, half human-made. When activated, it didn't show a reflection. It showed something else, another version of Earth, floating in a nearby dimension. It looked advanced. Shining cities, giant towers, flying crafts. But empty. No people. "Is this the future?" someone asked. Vorn shook his head. "No, a parallel world. a place we were never meant to see. The pulse mirror cracked and burned out after 30 seconds. But it was enough. The team realized something massive. Exile had pushed Earth near the borders of parallel space, other realities, other Earths, other chances. If they could control it, they could escape the trap, maybe even return with knowledge the aliens couldn't understand. But time was running out. Strange earthquakes shook the planet. The sun-like light that had kept Earth warm since Exile was fading. Power was dying, and the people needed answers fast. Late that night, Layla stood outside the facility. She looked at the dark sky and whispered, "If anyone is watching, help us." Something answered. Far above, in the dead sky, a symbol appeared. Bright, circular, and alien. It looked like a doorway. And for the first time since Exile, Earth had a path. The strange symbol in the sky didn't move. It glowed like a silent star, yet it wasn't a star at all. People around the world saw it. Some fell to their knees and prayed. Others pointed and whispered, afraid to speak too loudly. In many places, children drew it in the dirt, on walls, in notebooks. No one knew what it was, but everyone felt something strange when they looked at it, like a deep voice inside their chest saying, "Come closer." In the Project Phoenix bunker, Layla stared at the screen, showing the live feed of the sky. This appeared right after the pulse mirror burned out, she said. Dr. Vorn stood beside her, his face pale. "It's not just a sign," he said. "It's a response. Something, or someone, saw us trying to open the way. And now, they're opening it from the other side." They began working nonstop. The team believed the symbol wasn't just a message, it was a gate. But to unlock it, they would need more energy than Earth could provide in its current state. The sun was gone, solar power was weak, and fossil fuels were nearly useless without full systems. But Layla had another idea. "What about the deep core reactors?" she asked. "The abandoned ones from the global energy war." Those reactors had been sealed decades ago, too dangerous and unstable. But if they could access even one, it might give them enough power to open the gate for a few seconds, just enough to scan what was on the other side. A team was sent out in silence. No one outside the bunker could know yet. The world was unstable. People were surviving, but barely. Hope was a fragile thing now. Too much of it, too fast, could lead to chaos. Meanwhile, the alien scout probe moved closer. Invisible to all human eyes, it passed through the remains of Earth's satellite belt and entered the atmosphere. It hovered high, scanning radiation, heat, sound, and movement. What it found shocked its AI mind. Earth was not dying, it was adapting. The machine recorded underground energy pulses, strange signal patterns, and power surges from the southern hemisphere. It tried to send the data back to the Galactic Council, but something stopped it. The burst of unknown interference, coming from Earth itself, blocked the transmission. The probe froze, confused. Something on Earth had jammed it. That should have been impossible. Deep beneath Siberian ice, the reactor team reached the old power station. It was frozen, cracked, and dark, but the core was still intact. They entered with slow steps and shaking hands. The air smelled like metal and ash. Inside the heart of the building, they found something unexpected, wires that weren't human-made. Someone, or something, had already tried to activate it. "This wasn't us," one of the engineers whispered. "These lines, they're alien." The team returned with photos and samples. Dr. Vorn studied them with fear and curiosity. "We're not the only ones trying to use this world," he said. "Something else is trying to wake the planet." Back at the bunker, the team decided to move forward. They rerouted energy from 3 sources, 2 human-made, 1 unknown, all into one experiment. The goal: activate the symbol in the sky. At exactly 3:03 am, the energy surge began. Lights flickered, walls vibrated, the pulse core glowed. Then, suddenly, silence. The symbol in the sky pulsed once, twice. Then it exploded, not with fire, but with light. A doorway opened, not physical, not visible to the eye, but everyone felt it. Around the world, people fell into strange sleep, dreaming of the same place. A city made of glass and silver, floating in the clouds. Tall towers, glowing symbols, and voices calling out in soft tones. We are the forgotten. Welcome. When people woke up, they were changed. Some could understand alien text. Others had strange visions. A few began hearing sounds from machines that were turned off. The Project Phoenix team called it echo memory. It was like the planet had connected to something bigger, like Earth had touched another layer of reality. But not everything was peaceful. 3 hours after the gate opened, a deep rumble shook the world. The oceans moved without reason. Mountains cracked. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, something rose from the deep. A structure the size of a city, made of black stone and pulsing light. It had no doors, no windows, just a giant circle in the center, matching the symbol in the sky. Layla watched the live feed. Her voice was quiet. That's not human. That's not alien council tech either. Dr. Vorn nodded. No, that's older than both of us. The council, still unaware of what was truly happening, finally received a weak signal from the scout probe. Only one message made it through before the probe was destroyed. Earth is awakening. Panic spread in the council chamber. One general ordered a fleet to be prepared. We should have finished them. We were fools to exile them. If they unlock ancient tech, they'll be unstoppable. But it was too late. The black structure that rose from the ocean didn't move. It didn't make a sound. But its presence changed everything. Sea currents shifted, weather patterns became unstable, and animals behaved strangely. Birds refused to fly near it. Whales swam in circles around it. Even the clouds above it formed a perfect ring, as if space itself bent around the structure. The people of Earth gave it a name, the monolith. In every country, people gathered near screens, watching live feeds. The news had returned, now using simple shortwave radios and wired networks. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. The monolith was all anyone could talk about. It looked like a tower, but it had no top, no clear height, no shadows, just the circle symbol glowing slowly in the center, same as the one in the sky. Some people feared it. Others worshipped it. A few felt drawn to it, as if it were calling them personally. In the Phoenix bunker, Layla was scanning new data from the monolith. It's sending pulses, she said, not just energy. Signals, repeating messages, in hundreds of different languages. Dr. Vorn leaned over her shoulder, and they're all saying the same thing. Awaken, connect, evolve. What does it want? Someone asked. No one had the answer. Meanwhile, small groups of people across the world began having the same dream again. This time, they were inside the glass city. But now, the city was waking up. Lights flickered on. Giant machines moved slowly. And a voice whispered to each dreamer, "You are the bridge." When they woke up, these people knew things they shouldn't. Ancient math, alien star charts, codes that didn't belong to Earth. They were changed. One of them was a boy from Kenya, only 14 years old. He had never used a computer, but after the dream, he picked up a broken radio and rewired it to catch frequencies from the monolith. When asked how he did it, he simply said, "I remembered." The Alien Council now had a decision to make. The general who had sent the probe was furious. We should send the fleet now. Destroy Earth before they unlock that structure. But others hesitated. The data from the scout probe was still incomplete. And now something worse had appeared. Other signals, coming from deep space. Signals they didn't recognize. One council member stood and said, "We are not the only ones watching Earth anymore." That made the room go quiet. Back on Earth, Project Phoenix scientists started decoding the monolith's messages. Layla and her team created a map based on the monolith's pulses and discovered there were 7 more energy points on Earth, each one in a different location, each one hidden. These were called vaults. No one knew what was inside them, but the monolith was trying to wake them up, one by one. Dr. Vorn made the call. We have to reach the first vault before the aliens come. Whatever's inside, it's meant for us. The closest vault was in the Sahara Desert. A team of 7 was sent. Layla joined them. They traveled in a restored solar transport vehicle, built from scrap parts. It took 5 days. When they reached the location, there was nothing on the surface, just dry land and wind. But using the codes from the monolith, they activated the sand beneath them. The ground began to shift. A circular door appeared, made of the same black stone. It opened slowly, revealing a staircase that led down into darkness. They entered. Inside, the air was warm. The walls glowed with soft blue light. Symbols floated in the air, spinning gently. No dust, no decay. It was like it had been waiting for them. As they moved deeper, they'd reached a large chamber. In the center stood a tall humanoid figure, not alive, but not dead. It was made of light and stone. Its eyes opened. It spoke in every language at once. You are late. The cycle has already begun. Prepare. Then it raised its hand and touched Layla's forehead. She collapsed. The others rushed to help her, but her eyes were moving fast under closed lids. She was dreaming again. This time, not of the glass city, but of war. Massive space battles. Humans flying ships with strange wings. Creatures she had never seen before. And Earth, not as a planet, but as a weapon. She woke up gasping. We were something else before. We had power. Real power. We lost it. They buried it. But now it's coming back. The team transmitted everything back to Phoenix. Vorn listened in silence. She's not just dreaming. She's remembering. Earth wasn't just exiled. It was locked, sealed, because of what we used to be. Outside the vault, the air changed. Above the desert sky, a new light appeared. A fleet had entered the system. The aliens were coming, and Earth was no longer sleeping. The alien fleet entered the system like a storm, silent, fast, and deadly. There were 12 ships, dark and sharp like blades, built for one purpose: destruction. The Galactic Council didn't want peace anymore. They were afraid. Earth had awakened something ancient, something even the Council didn't fully understand. And now they believed it had to be stopped before it spread. Back on Earth, in the Phoenix bunker, Dr. Vorn and the others watched the sky with tense eyes. The warning signals were clear. They've come, he said softly. They're afraid of what we're becoming. Layla, still recovering from her connection inside the vault, looked calm. Her voice was steady. They should be afraid. The vault had shown her the truth. Thousands of years ago, before recorded history, humans had reached for the stars. They had built ships, cities in space, weapons powered by thought, and technology that could bend reality. But something had gone wrong. A war had broken out, not between species, but between timelines. Humans had unlocked the power to move across dimensions, and that had terrified the galaxy. The Council had formed after that war and decided to wipe out Earth's memory. They sealed the vaults. They erased history. And they exiled Earth. But now, the seal was breaking. Around the world, strange things were happening. Plants once thought extinct began growing again. Machines powered on without fuel. People started to remember things they had never learned. Children drew star maps they had never seen. It was like the planet itself was waking up. Some people called it magic. Others called it evolution. But it wasn't either. It was memory. The alien fleet approached quietly, hiding behind moons and space debris. Their weapons were charged. Their mission was simple: destroy the monolith, destroy the vaults, and erase Earth once and for all. They thought Earth wouldn't see them coming. They were wrong. Inside the Sahara vault, Layla had left something behind, a signal beacon linked to her DNA. The monolith detected the incoming threat and responded by activating the next vault, hidden deep beneath the Andes Mountains. And with it, something ancient woke up. A machine. But it wasn't a machine in the normal sense. It was alive. Metal and energy, fused with memory. It rose slowly from the mountains, taller than any human structure. Its eyes glowed with a soft white light. It didn't speak, but it moved, and its movements sent out waves of energy across the planet. The Earth answered back. Forests trembled. Oceans shifted. Storms stopped. The planet had remembered its protector. The Phoenix team called it the Guardian. As the alien ships entered orbit, the Guardian looked up. It raised one arm, and a light shot into the sky. One of the alien ships lost power instantly, falling out of formation. The others opened fire. Beams of light and plasma rained down from the sky. But Earth was not defenseless anymore. The monolith, the Guardian, and the awakened vaults formed a kind of network, a defense system older than any known technology. Invisible shields spread across key areas. Not everywhere, just enough to protect major sites. Phoenix Bunker, the Sahara Vault, and the Monolith Zone in the Pacific. The rest of the world held its breath. Dr. Vorn stood before the bunker's main screen, watching the Guardian take the hit for Earth. They thought exile would be the end, he whispered. But they gave us exactly what we needed: time. Layla suddenly stood up, her voice urgent. We need to activate the third vault. If we don't, this will turn into a full war. We need to show them something worse than fear. We need to show them memory. The next vault location was unexpected. Greenland. Frozen, isolated, forgotten. The team prepared for immediate launch. Meanwhile, on one of the alien ships, something strange happened. One of the younger commanders paused as the Guardian's energy wave reached them. For a second, he saw images in his mind. Humans standing on starships, not as enemies, but as allies. He shook his head, confused. Why am I seeing this? He asked. The truth was simple but terrifying. Earth's memory was not just waking up on Earth, it was spreading. The Phoenix team landed in Greenland in the middle of a snowstorm. Using the vault codes, they located the entrance buried beneath meters of ice. As they opened it, a rush of warm air escaped, followed by light and symbols that danced in the snow. Inside, they found something different this time. Not a guardian, not a machine, but a library. Holograms of ancient humans, stories of the old wars, technology blueprints, star maps, even messages to future generations. And one sentence burned into the walls in every language. We were never the weakest. We were just forgotten. Layla activated the core. All across the Earth, the vaults pulsed in sync. The monolith flared brighter than ever before. And in space, the alien fleet paused. Their systems crashed. Their memories flickered. They were being shown the truth. They hadn't exiled a primitive world. They had buried a sleeping god. And now, Earth was awake. In the skies above Earth, the alien fleet hung frozen. Their weapons were still active, their ships still deadly. But something had changed. The signals from the vaults, the light from the monolith, the memory of Earth's past. It had reached them. Some of the alien pilots sat in silence, their hands shaking. They were trained to destroy. But now, they were seeing memories not their own, visions of humans standing beside alien races, fighting with them, not against them. One commander remembered a name he had never spoken before. Solari Pact. It came out of his mouth like a forgotten song. That name wasn't in any record. It wasn't in any archive. But he remembered it. Back on Earth, Layla stood inside the Greenland vault, surrounded by light and knowledge. The air was warm, humming with silent power. The library wasn't just a storage of data, it was alive. It chose what to show, and to whom. Layla had seen the rise and fall of ancient human empires, Not just on Earth, but on other planets too. She had seen great ships shaped like birds, flying across galaxies. She had seen betrayal, the moment Earth was locked away, not because it was weak, but because it was feared. Dr. Vorn's voice came through her earpiece. The Council's fleet is still holding. They haven't attacked again, but they haven't left either. Layla knew it was only a matter of time. They're scared, she said, not just of us, but of what they did to us. At the Phoenix bunker, energy spikes from the vaults began sensing into a rhythm. The monolith in the Pacific began to rotate for the first time. It turned slowly, the circle symbol glowing brighter. Then a beam of light shot straight into space. Not an attack, not a weapon, but a signal. All across the galaxy, ancient machines buried on dead moons and lost planets activated. Small orbs of light, long forgotten by time, rose into the sky and aligned. One by one, they pulsed and sent the same signal back. Earth has returned. The Galactic Council panicked. Alarms rang in their command centers. The Council's leaders held emergency meetings. We didn't just exile them, one elder said. We cut them off from the source. And now, another whispered, they're reconnecting. In truth, Earth had once been part of a much larger system, one that powered more than machines. It powered thought, memory, creation. The source wasn't just energy. It was living knowledge. The Council had feared what humans could do with it. So they closed the gate. But the gate was never fully destroyed, only sealed. Now it was opening again. Layla returned to Phoenix Base with something new, a blueprint from the library. It showed how to build a transmitter, not a communication device, but a recall beacon, a machine that could awaken buried Earth tech all over the planet and beyond. There are more vaults, she said to Vorn. Not just 7. Hundreds, and not just here. We had colonies. Out there. They began construction at once, using parts from the old world. Solar coils, fusion cells, alien scraps from fallen ships. The team worked without sleep. Outside, more people were arriving at the bunker. Scientists, soldiers, survivors, even children. They had seen the monolith. They had dreamed the same dreams. And now they came to help. The beacon was finished in 4 days. When it activated, it sent a pulse deep into Earth's crust and far beyond. Across the system, on forgotten moons, machines stirred. On Mars, an old vault door opened. On Europa, a frozen lake began to glow. And in deep orbit beyond Pluto, a dark shape drifted out of the shadows. It was massive. The ship, not alien, not council, but human-made from the ancient times. It had no name on its side, but its signal was clear. Solari Arc-1, awaiting command. The alien fleet above Earth received the signal too. Their ships began to shake, but it wasn't damage, it was memory. Their systems were built using stolen human code. Long ago, after the exile, the Council had salvaged tech from Earth ruins and integrated it into their own fleets. Now that Earth was reawakening, those systems responded. One by one, the ships lost control. Weapons shut down. Engines froze. Some of the pilots screamed in panic. Others simply remembered. In Phoenix Base, Dr. Vorn watched it happen. They can't stop it, he whispered. We're not hacking them. We're not fighting them. Our tech remembers us. Layla stood beside him, holding a simple datapad showing Earth's energy pattern. This isn't war, she said. This is correction. But not all aliens surrendered. From the outer edge of the fleet, a single dark ship broke formation. It was different, older, faster, and untouched by human code. It began to charge a weapon. They still want to finish us, Vorn said. Layla looked up. No, she said. Let Earth answer this time. From the monolith, light exploded, not as a beam, but as a wave. It passed over the planet, the ocean, the skies, the alien fleet, and hit the rogue ship. The ship stopped moving. Its lights went dark. And then it disappeared. Not destroyed. Erased. Everyone who watched felt the same thing at once. A voice inside their minds. You exiled us. You feared us. But we were always part of the source. We are not your enemy. We are your mirror. Silence fell over the world. And for the first time in 1,000 years, Earth was not alone. The sky above Earth was quiet. The alien fleet drifted in silence. Some ships powered down completely. Others waited, unsure. They had come to destroy. But now, they didn't even understand what they were looking at. Earth was not just a planet anymore. It was something more. Something ancient, connected, and wide awake. Inside Phoenix Base, the beacon pulsed with steady light. The vaults around the world remained active. The monolith floated silently in the ocean, still turning. And high above, in the cold edge of space, the Solari Arc-1 waited for its orders. Layla stood before the control panel, staring at a simple message glowing on the screen. Authorization. Humanity. Status. Returning. Her hands trembled slightly, but not from fear. This was the moment the dreams had led to. The visions. The vaults. The monolith. Everything had been guiding humanity back to its true path. We were never lost, she whispered. We were just locked away. Dr. Vorn stepped forward. The Council won't take this quietly. Some of them will want to talk. Others will want to try again, to finish what they started. Then we give them a choice, Layla said. We don't fight. We show them. She activated the Solari Arc. The giant ship powered up slowly, not with fuel, but with memory. Lights danced across its surface. Hidden ports opened. Ancient systems reawakened. It responded to Earth like a child responding to a parent's voice. Within seconds, the Arc systems connected to the vault network. In every vault, holograms came online. Human figures in silver robes, speaking in every language. They told the story. They told the truth. Of how humanity had reached the stars. Of how it had created wonders. Of how the Solari Pact, an alliance of humans and other species, had once brought balance to the galaxy, and how fear had ended it all. The holograms ended with a simple message. We remember peace. We offer it again. Across the alien fleet, some commanders stood and watched. Many cried. Others knelt. They had grown up hearing stories of Earth as a violent, chaotic world. But now, they saw something else. A people who had suffered, survived, and chosen to rise without hate. One of the alien leaders, Admiral Kethar, opened a direct link to Earth. His voice cracked as he spoke. We were wrong. You were not the danger. You were the key. Layla responded. We're not here to punish. We're here to rebuild. But the galaxy needs to know the truth. The monolith responded with a signal stronger than ever before. It broadcast Earth's memories, all of them, across space. From the rise of the first starships, to the wars, to the betrayal, to the long silence. It didn't hide the pain. It didn't erase the mistakes. It showed everything. The full truth. For the first time in galactic history, the truth was louder than fear. The Council, shaken by the failure of their attack and the signals flooding the network, broke into factions. Some demanded war, but others, now remembering Earth's past, demanded peace. Entire civilizations that once feared humans began sending messages of apology and of invitation. Earth had not only returned, it had become a symbol. Back on the planet, strange things began happening again. In the oceans, deep creatures that had been dormant for millennia rose to the surface. Not monsters, guardians. In the forests, giant trees with glowing leaves grew overnight, responding to the source. And among the people, something even more powerful appeared. Connection. Humans started to sense each other's emotions, not full thoughts, but understanding. The same kind they once had, long ago, when Earth was part of the source. Children born after the beacon pulse could communicate with animals, with light, with systems that were not even built yet. They were not just future humans. They were the return of the old ones. Layla and Dr. Vorn walked together one evening, looking out at the stars. "It's strange," he said. "We thought we were alone, broken, small." Layla smiled softly. "But we were never small. We were just waiting for the signal." In orbit, the Solari arc began building. Not weapons, but gates. Portals that would allow other races to visit Earth, and allow Earth to reach out again. Diplomats arrived from distant stars, some in ships, some in light, some in dreams, and Earth welcomed them. The last vault opened quietly in Antarctica. It held only one thing, the seed. Layla took it in her hands. It pulsed with life. "What is it?" Vorn asked. "It's us," she said. "The next version." She planted it. Within hours, it grew into a tree that shimmered with light. Its roots connected to every vault, every memory, every signal. It became the heart of Earth. And when its first fruit fell, the skies above shimmered, and a new star appeared. It wasn't just Earth that had returned to the galaxy. It was the galaxy that had come home.